Curtis Swlia, are you there?
Oh, yes, I am, Mark. I'm right outside the Board of Elections headquarters in Queens. The incompetency of both the Republicans and Democrats who are part of this patronage system once again has proven to all voters you can't trust the outcome. And today you got to feel for the three people who are waiting to get into the general election against me, which will be decided on November 2nd. They've spent a year and a half campaigning, raised millions. Their staff are biting their nails down. And they can't even get the vote right. They can't even count the vote right with all the fancy technology, the additional days of voting, early voting, absentee ballot voting, and the voting that we were all used to on the day of the election.
So are you worried that in November there'll be some funny business with the counting?
Mark Simone, at the rate we're going, I may not learn who my opponent is until maybe November 1st.
Hey, I mean, we want everybody...
All three candidates have gone to court. They have a right to sue, and rightfully so. Nobody trusts the process. Nobody trusts the Board of Elections. Editorially, whether it's the Post or the Times or the Daily News says, we have to take a Miley Cyrus wrecking ball to this. The voters, the taxpayers deserve better. And in the most sophisticated, technologically efficient city in the world, we can't even count the votes right.
Yeah. Hey, when these people that say, "Oh, Republican can't win," Republicans have won 5 of the last 7 mayoral races, and you're also an independent, right? That's a way for people to vote for you.
That's right, Mark. I am also running on the independent party line, which, as you remember, Michael Bloomberg spent millions of dollars to procure. He would not have become mayor on the Republican line alone. Didn't have to spend any money. I had volunteers who went out and got the signatures necessary to qualify me on the independent party line. But also, Mark, the other difference is the demographics have changed since the days of 8 years of Rudy Giuliani, 12 years of Pataki as the governor, and 12 years of Bloomberg as the mayor. The demographics have shifted dramatically. There are far more left-wing progressives led by AOC, Allow Crazy, Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez, the Democratic Socialists of America, and the Justice Warriors. As a result of that, because I'm a candidate who can go into neighborhoods where the only Republican recognized is Abraham Lincoln on a $5 bill, I have a distinct advantage in being able to convince people to vote for me, whether as a Republican or on the independent party line, to make a difference, because they've grown up with me for 42 years. As people said yesterday in Orchard Beach in the Bronx and the day before in Coney Island, Curtis Swlia, he's one of us. He's been with us all through the years. They don't really know Eric Adams that much. They don't know Kathleen Garcia. And they certainly don't know Maya Wiley, who, as you know, has been secured behind her mansion with private security and does not venture out with the real people.
Yeah, and the things they usually label the Republican with won't work against you. You're not a big Trump guy. You're not a crazy right-wing, far-right guy. You're not, you're somebody who's got enough Democratic appeal as Republican appeal. So, and when you agree crime is the only thing people are going to vote on right now?
All they're talking about is crime, crime, and crime. And you know, Mark Simone, you've been involved in political campaigns. They spend a lot of money to put together a focus group. My focus group is the subway. And the subway is the best cross-section of people who definitely tell you what's happening in their neighborhoods, tell you what's happening in the subways, and most importantly, they want to hear from you what you're going to do. So I'm able to test out all of my positions on the people who matter the most, the people who live in the neighborhoods and the people who ride the subways.
Yeah. Listen, I've known Curtis for years. Hardest working guy in the world. Honest. There's no scandal. The only thing people try to stick on him is 15 cats. Why? And, but that just shows a good heart, right? I mean, 15 cats.
Mark, we got one extra over the weekend that we rescued from the shelter. It's now 16. Or that poor cat would have been euthanized. And that's what my wife wanted. Nancy, it was her birthday yesterday. And she said, Curtis, I just want to rescue another cat before they euthanize it from the shelter system. That's why when I'm mayor, we'll have a no-kill shelter system. We're not going to be killing any dogs or cats or animals. We're going to find them a home of their own.
The other thing is it a 350-square-foot apartment?
328-square-foot apartment. As we say in New York, we're one turlet. It's a studio right off of West 87th Street between Central Park West and Columbus. And I'm glad I have it because you remember, Mark, for a while there, with all the bills that I had and all the child support, I was sleeping on the floor of a radio station for a while. So thank God for Nancy rescuing me like she's rescued those 16 cats.
Well, I want to point this out. Elon Musk, who's considered the greatest genius in the world, just announced he's moving into a 375-square-foot home. He said, this is the way to live, simplicity, narrow everything down. So you are in a good class there with Elon Musk. Pretty amazing.
So
huh?
you see, Mark, I've led, and Elon Musk has followed. Next thing, I'll be advocating Bitcoin, cryptocurrency, when you get a slice and a Coke at your nearby pizzeria.
Yeah. Hey, so if it's Eric Adams, he's going to, I'm a police captain, police. But you've worked with more police commissioners, captains. They're all going to be behind you. Crime fighting, I think you've got him beat by that. And you talk about Garcia, sanitation. Nobody thinks they did a great job. So wouldn't you think you'll easily beat either of those two?
Yeah, well, I think the most important thing is, Mark, is that you say, where were these three last summer? When Black Lives Matter and Antifa were turning demonstrations into looting and shooting and rioting at night, there was Eric Adams painting Black Lives Matter with his comrade in paintbrushes, Bill de Blasio, because he really is a de Blasio Democrat. They love one another. Where was Garcia? Where was Wiley? What were they saying? We know what Wiley was saying. Defund the police more, take guns from the cops and give it to the criminals. And Garcia wants to defund the police. So when people say, why should I vote for you, Curtis? I say, what do you got to lose? Your professional Democratic politicians gave you defund the police. How's that working out? They gave you no bail. How's that working out? We're going to be $5 billion in debt by the time de Blasio finally is out of office. How's that working out? You got nothing to lose. So take a chance on Curtis Sliwa, because I've been here with you before, and I'll be with you again as mayor of the city of New York.
For people that say, well, what about management experience? First of all, Adams, Brooklyn Borough President, that's basically a no-show job nowadays. You don't manage anything. So what do you say to that?
Well, when you're a borough president, and I knew one very well, because as you know, my two youngest sons, their mother used to be the Queensboro president, Melinda Katz. They basically cut ribbons. It's ceremonial. Yeah. And they use that position to run for higher office, like the public advocate position. As Curtis Sliwa, I'm in charge of Guardian Angels in 13 countries, 130 cities all over the world. For 42 years, I've done this, and I've kept this nonprofit out of any trouble. If you notice, every politician who starts a nonprofit, when they get elected for office, they turn it into a slush fund, and half a dozen of them are now in state prison doing time, because all they want to do is get wine, dined, and pocket line. That's Eric Adams, that's Bill de Blasio, that's Garcia, and that's Wiley.
Well, I'm all for Curtis. You should be too. Where can people go to volunteer or to donate money? Because you're gonna need it. You're gonna get hit hard in the general. What's the website?
All you got to do, Mark, is go to CurtisSliwaForMayor.com. CurtisSliwaForMayor.com. I can use the donations because the Democrat, whoever survives this process, is way ahead. They've collected millions, and I was the last candidate to announce. So please, whatever money you can donate to the campaign, you know I can do more with less, as I've done for 42 years, and that's how I'll do as mayor of the city of New York. Just go to CurtisSliwaForMayor.com.
And a guy in a 328-square-foot apartment obviously is not going to waste your money. He's going to spend it carefully. CurtisSliwaForMayor.com. And he's an honest, hard-working guy, and nobody better on crime. CurtisSliwaForMayor.com. Curtis Sliwa, thanks for being with us. Good luck.
Thanks for the tactical air support. I won't let your listeners down, Mark, I promise.
All right, take care. We'll talk to you soon. Definitely the perfect guy right now in November.